It's been 3 weeks since I went to my local AMC to watch A24's The Drama, and Rachel is living rent-free in my head. Let's talk about it. The Drama, directed by Christopher Borgli, the same guy behind Dream Scenario, stars Zendaya and Robert Pattinson as Emma and Charlie, a happily engaged couple in the week leading up to their wedding. On the surface, it sells as a dark romantic comedy, and it is that. But it's also a film about empathy, about moral hypocrisy, about how well we actually know the people we love. And yeah, it's uncomfortable in the best freaking way. It's the kind of movie you finish and immediately need to call someone about. And somehow, the most uncomfortable part of the movie is not the central twist. That honor belongs to Rachel, Emma's maid of honor, her supposed best friend, the person who smiles through every interaction while making you feel vaguely terrible about yourself. Played with terrifying precision by Elena Haim, Rachel's not a villain in the traditional sense. She doesn't monologue, she doesn't scheme, she just is, constantly, loudly in everyone's business. And I could not stand her, and I loved every second of it. Before the big twist even drops, Rachel is already doing the absolute most. She's part of the wedding inner circle, married to Mike, Charlie's best man, and serving as Emma's maid of honor. On paper, she's one of Emma's closest people. In practice, though, she's the kind of friend who performs closeness while making everything about themselves. The first red flag comes early, and it's so small you might miss it. Emma mentions how Charlie's her first love in her late 20s. And Rachel, she has thoughts about this. She gets on Emma's case about it. Being 29 and newly in love, Rachel treats it like a character defect that needs addressing. I cannot stress how much this moment tells you everything. Rachel's always measuring, she's always keeping score, always making sure you know your number is just a little lower than hers, and she's been doing it so long she doesn't even notice anymore. What's brilliant about this is that Rachel isn't cartoonishly awful in these early scenes. She's recognizable. She's the kind of person you've absolutely met, maybe sat across from a dinner table, maybe even liked initially. Kind of like that coworker, if you know what I mean. That slow creep of realization, oh, this person is a lot, is something the film earns quietly before it earns it loudly. Spoiler warning from here on out. If you haven't seen The Drama yet, go watch it. It's absolutely brilliant. The thing I keep coming back to that's really struck me is that Rachel caused all of this. The confession, the fallout, the wedding implosion. It all traces back to Rachel suggesting a game at dinner where everyone shares the worst thing they've ever done. Her idea framed as a sweet pre-wedding bonding ritual she and Mike once did together. What it actually is a stage. Rachel loves the stage. She loves any situation where she gets to set the terms and then watch everyone else navigate them. What stops Rachel from being just an irritating side character and makes her genuinely compelling is this. She has absolutely no idea she's the worst person in the room. She suggested the game, she locked a kid in a cabin, she has almost certainly chipped away at Emma in a small, deniable way for years, and yet in her own mind she is the moral authority at this table. She alone has the right to judge. That is what I'd call the hypocrisy loop, and it's something Borgli nails throughout the whole film. Nobody here is clean. Charlie cyberbullied a kid so badly his family had to move. But the confession game creates a hierarchy, and Rachel crowns herself its judge without a moment of hesitation. She's the worst person in the room, precisely, because she doesn't know she's the worst person in the room. And I think we all know someone like that. I think most of us have at some point been someone like that. And that's what makes her really, really sting. Haim said Rachel was the most fun she's ever had acting, specifically because Rachel is, in her own words, so not me. And you can feel that freedom in every scene. Haim plays her with this gleeful, sharp-elbowed energy that made me simultaneously want to look away and never stop watching. At its core, The Drama is asking one question, that being, could you forgive the person you love the most for the worst thing they've ever done? It is a hard question, a genuinely uncomfortable one, and the film doesn't really give you an answer to that. But Rachel doesn't even ask the question, and that's the point. I found Rachel exhausting. I found her infuriating. And I think that she's one of the best written supporting characters in recent time, because the best kind of awful is the kind that holds up a mirror. Rachel sucks completely, spectacularly, and with full commitment. But she sucks in a way that is deeply uncomfortably human, and that's the whole point of the drama, isn't it? Nobody in this movie is innocent. Rachel just happens to be the least aware of it.